a little birdie told me it's time to go wild.
Hello friends, my name is Miss Sabrina and I'm the camp director for 4-H Camp Wabasso, which is a youth residential camp in upstate New York. Today we're going to go on a guided hike where we look for signs of wildlife. I hope you join us. Alright friends, so now we're at the nature trail at 4-H Camp Wabasso, where we're about to go on a hike to look for signs of nature. We're going to keep our eyes and ears open for whatever we can find. Let's go! Hello friends, we are at our first stop along the nature trail, and the first plant that we've found is swallowwort, which is right here. Swallowwort is an invasive plant that is found throughout 4-H Camp Wabasso's property. This plant takes over native plants, and it is poisonous to local animals. Alright friends, we are at another sign of wildlife on the nature trail at 4-H Camp Wabasso. Here we have deerskat. I know that this is deerskat because of the shape of the skat, which is oblong, so it's longer than it is wide, and it's relatively small. So this means that there are deer here in the forest of 4-H Camp Wabasso. Alright friends, we are at another sign of wildlife on our trail. Now we can see the deer tracks, which means deer are definitely here. This is the deer track. You can tell it's a deer track because there are two equally sized lobes on either side of the hoof print. If you follow, you'll be able to see other deer tracks in a pattern of how it walked. Another way to look for signs of wildlife would be to listen with your ears. If you listen carefully right now, you can hear the call of the loon. The loon is a waterfowl species that lives here on Millsite Lake. Alright friends, so this tree that I'm next to is a paper birch. You know that it's a paper birch because of the paper-like bark that peels and curls away from the tree. Around a paper birch, you can find pieces of this bark that has peeled away, and you can use these pieces to start a fire. This will even ignite if it's wet. But make sure if you're trying to start a fire that you will only start it with a trusted adult. Also make sure that you don't peel the bark off of the tree, because if you peel it all the way around the tree, it can kill it. Here we have a toothpaste slime mold. Slime molds are super cool because they are single-celled organisms that all come together to create a fruiting body like we see here. The orange one is a new fruiting body, and these dark brown ones are the older fruiting bodies. Sometimes it can be really hard to follow a trail that hasn't been used in a while, so when you think you might get lost, what you're going to look for is a trail marker on the trail, and I can see one right up here. This is the trail marker on the nature trail at 4-H Camp Wabasso. Sometimes you're going to look for flagging, sometimes you'll look for a little round disc that also marks the trail. Now we are at the Beaver Pond at 4-H Camp Wabasso. You can see lots of beautiful green plants, and if you listen closely, you could hear a bullfrog and a red-tailed hawk. Alright friends, now that we've finished our hike and we know that we saw a couple invasive species, we want to make sure we clean off our shoes so we don't trek them to other locations. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe my shoes off in this brush here. And this will take off all the seeds from the plants that we saw. Even if you didn't see an invasive species, you want to make sure you do that so you don't trek something unknowingly. Now that we've finished our hike looking for signs of wildlife, I'm inviting you to do so on your own. You can take a picture of this scavenger hunt on your screen and complete it in your own backyard or on a local trail with a trusted adult. Have fun!